Hare Krishna. So we were discussing the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and the title of this chapter is Transcendental Knowledge. Transcendental knowledge, in the sense, the knowledge that is required, that can take us beyond the material existence. So in this chapter, like after chapter starts with Krishna's activities, and Krishna says, somebody who knows about, he says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati varta abhyudanam dharmasya tadatmanam sujanyam. Means whenever and wherever there is predominant rise in the irreligion, means, and decline in the religious principles, then that at that place I come. So it is said, like, dharma is nature, right? We already discussed. Dharma means what is the dharma of the soul? To be a part and parcel of Krishna, to be like, just like in a mission, like every part will assist the whole mission, right? For example, any nut or bolt which is apart from the mission, which fell down from the mission, it's of no use. But if it associated with the mission, it has some value, it has some function to do in the whole. So in the same way, when each living entity, when it is connected to Krishna, when it is acting as per the will of Krishna and serving Krishna, and that way, that the living entity, that Jiva has the value, Jiva has the significance in the creation. Otherwise, he has no significance. He'll be like one among the Ananta Koti Jiva. So, but here, Glanir means, it is said that Glanir Bhavat, that what is Glani for Dharma is, Dharma can never be destroyed. Just like sweetness or purity of water can never be taken away. Or like the nature of anything, like nature of salt is to be salty, nature of sugar is to be sweet. In the same way, the nature of the soul is Satchidananda, and it is part and parcel of Krishna, and it is always in connection with Krishna, has transcendental loving relation with Krishna. But it gets covered over due to illusion. So that is Glani. Glani means that it's not destruction. Dharma can never be destroyed. Nowadays we see, right? They are destroying Dharma, dharmic ways. That can never be destroyed. That can not possible at all. When it is not possible for the humans to uphold Dharma, then Lord himself personally comes. That is called avatar. So if we know the principle of Dharma, if we understand it rightly and follow it, then we progress and we will be approaching Lord Krishna, will be becoming closer to Krishna. So then one may ask, actually, until from the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita sessions, we have been discussing how to do actions, how to do karma, how to detach work, acting without attachment for the results of the action. That are all good. Then why again now entering into this, like, what do you call that? Personality cult. Means knowing about one person, glorifying one person. Well, what is the significance? Why you have to do that? Like for example, if you see, if you go outside especially in the corporate world, and it says we'll do stress management, we'll do effectiveness, we will do concentration improvement, like all those things, people will get interested. And if you say, then let us talk about Krishna or let us talk about God, you say, oh no, we are good. We don't want to waste our time knowing about somebody. So, but Bhagavad Gita gives the knowledge in full. So whatever we have discussed, the karma, the jnana, and all those things, the how to act, are the stepping stones to reach the ultimate, to reach the essence. So, and this knowledge, this jnana, is also a stepping stone to reach the ultimate of bhakti. Means how bhakti we already discussed, right? What does bhakti means? Devotion. What does devotion means? Bhakti. See, we discussed, right, what is the difference between love and lust. So another meaning of love is loving devotional service, means bhakti. As you say, love means service. Any love that is not expressed is of no use. So if you love somebody, then you express it by serving them. And that is the devotional, like that is bhakti. We express our love towards Krishna by serving Krishna, by chanting his name, by hearing about him, by glorifying him, by doing archana, all the navita bhakti we do. We express our love, we express our bhakti towards Krishna. So, what were we discussing? Yeah, and this nature of the soul is always there, and it might just covered up due to some mental speculator or somebody. So yeah, the main theme is these all karma, jnana are all the stepping stones to reach the bhakti. The culmination of all the process to be able to reach bhakti process. So even in now we are going to discuss the personal appearance and activities of Krishna. Then one should not think this as material. They are spiritual in nature. They actually by knowing which, just by knowing means like will come in later. We'll have great benefit of going back to it. So Krishna says Srijamyaham, manifest. Purpose of Lord appearance is two things. When does Lord appear? Predominant rise in irreligiosity and disappearance of true religion. Means it's like somebody may say, I'm not sick. It doesn't matter, you are not healthy also. So in the same way, predominant rise in irreligiosity doesn't mean that religiosity is all religiosity is gone. So those two things, when those two things are happening in a rapid way, in order to save the dharma, in order to bring again the devotees to the mainstream, Lord Krishna appears personally, establish the principles of religion. So as per the scriptures, it is said that all the avatars, we saw the previous slide, right? These three, like different avatars, these are all the plenary expansions of Krishna. Krishna is the original supreme person, original God. Like if you see any religion in the universe, entire universe, they only have vague concept of religion. They don't have full concept. That's why, like if you see many religions, they have one book or two books. But if you see the Vedic literature, it has thousands and thousands of books explaining who is God and how we should approach him, what is our duty towards God. So that is if you take any other practice, it is like LKG or first class, second class, maybe schooling or at most and like associate degree like that. But when it comes to the Vedic Dharma, the Dharmika, the Sanatan Dharma, it is like PhD. The Krishna conscious philosophy is like PhD. Means, see the principle what is Dharma all about? Knowing our relationship with Krishna. The following Dharma is all about knowing our nature and knowing that we are not this but we are spirit soul, and knowing that we have a specific relation with Krishna. So that is the purpose of religion. And all religions, many religions, they actually more basic in nature. For example, if a kid is there, for the kid to go to school or keep reading to read, a mother teacher has to adopt some basic methods, either for first of all giving the gifts, candies and going to, I'll take you to there if you go to school nicely, or I'll buy you a gift like that. Mother has to allure the kid, or at most chastise, will you read or not, otherwise I'll beat you up like that. If it is Indian kids, will do, but not here. So that's how they do in that sessions, right? Now when the kid is too young, and because kid don't know how it is how kid is getting education and will improve its opportunities in future. But as the kid grows up, the kid will the child himself knows that this is the importance of when he becomes adult. He himself knows that education is a thing that is going to give him the greater opportunities. So he himself put the opportunity. See, like grown-up person, nobody has to be behind him. Oh, you read, you do your assignments, you do your things like that. He will know. He knows the importance of everything, right? Like when you're on job, you have to be on time. You have to finish your deadlines and everything. Nobody is going to say. Nobody is going to. Your manager won't be say, "Are you doing? Did you wake up or not?" You won't follow up. It's up to you to do. Huh? So, in the same way, the basic religions, we can say that deals with if you don't accept God, God will punish you. If you want to go to heaven, you have to accept God, like that. Those are all like basic religions. Means some kind of allurement is required for them to accept God. So if that might be the beginning stage. So some religions promise eternal heaven. There is nothing like eternal heaven. Heaven itself is temporary. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Heaven is like a place where for the good actions that you are on, that your punya karma, for that benefit you reap the benefit of your punya karma in the heaven. If you do a lot of wrong things, then you reap the results in hell. So punya and papa means sinful and pious activities. If you do a lot of pious activities, you'll go to heaven. If you do a lot of sinful activities, you'll go to hell. Why? Because this earthly planet doesn't have much of the facilities to give results to punya and papa. Means like, see, if you have done, for example, if you have done so much pious activities, so for every pious activity you should be able to get so much of pleasure or sense enjoyment or happiness. But this human form, and also when you do papa, when you do bad karma, for the bad karma, for one type of activity that you have done, the bad karma is you have to go to anxiety, you have to go to punishment to certain level. So much pain it has to cause. So on both levels, tolerating pain or pleasure, our material body has a limitation. Our material body cannot handle pain or pleasure beyond certain limit. So if we torture the person more than the certain degree, he will give up the body. If we give the pleasure more than certain degree, he will go crazy. So if a person did lot of punya karma, lot of pious activities, then he will be promoted to heaven, where he will have unlimited opportunity for sense enjoyment, for pleasure, so that he can reap the benefit of his punya karma. Like if I'll describe the facilities in the hell, like for example, eating. If somebody likes to eat, here we can eat at most, like if you like gulab jamuns, you may eat 3 or 4 gulab jamuns. After that, done. You cannot experience any pleasure in that. But in the heaven, you can keep on eating for years and years and years. Still, you won't feel hungry, you won't feel satiated. And also other enjoyments also, like mating or sleeping, or like other pleasures that we see here, that can be experienced in the heaven to the unlimited extent. Means like how much ever you want to enjoy, you can enjoy. You still have the stability, you still have the strength, you should have the like you don't have the any like satiation or something like that, as long as your credit card balance is there. What is credit card balance? Punya karma. So in the same way, with respect to the wrong things, means if you do papa karma or impious activities, and for example, somebody cheats someone, for cheating, for lying, or for murdering or raping, all those heinous things are there. For each and everything, the jiva has to go through the cycle of birth and death and reap the benefits of everything, reap the results of every impious activity he has done. So for that, like every time, like it is said in the scriptures, like if somebody drinks alcohol, then he will be taken to the hell, and a hot boiling metal, like that will be poured into his throat. So if you see how many times, how many people drink every day, they drink, right? How many times it is not possible in that. If you pour once, that metal body is finished, right? So when you go to hell, like when you go to heaven, it will be given bhoga sharira, means you can enjoy unlimitedly. When you go to hell, you will be given yatana sharira, means that body is suitable to only suffering. It is said that like if you peel off your skin layers, so it's like yatana sharira, means anybody even touches also, you'll give pain. So that yatana sharira is designed in such a way that it will give only pain. So when somebody goes to hell, he can, with that yatana sharira, he can be able to experience, go through all the pains that he is in due. Means all the loans are there, lot of credit, what do you call, what debit, they call the debits or credits, debits, like lot of loans, lot of dues are there pending, debts, yeah. So he will clear off all those things by going through all such punishments. Then he will be qualified after, because after death, due to the impious activities, you will not be qualified to get a new body due to your so much of sinful reactions. So that's why the living entity is taken to the hellish or heavenly planets. So we got mistracked, I think. So why I mentioned all those things is the heaven and hell are not permanent. As soon as your punya karma is over, you will come back again and you have to do karma here. As soon as your papa karma is over in the hell, they will be promoted to the earth planet, you will be given a new body and start all over karma again. So anybody who is not taking Krishna consciousness and who is only relying, like I'll do good, I'll construct orphanage homes and give charities and free medication, free education, and I'll support everything. That persons will get punya karma only. They'll go to heaven, they'll enjoy it there, and again they'll fall down. Means that is not permanent. And even the impious also same thing. So any religion that actually only promotes that just by your religious practice, if you heaven is the only goal, means there is nothing like permanent eternal heaven. Bhagavad Gita and Krishna also says that if my devotee, if you want to go to, if he is not perfect, why anybody neglects the devotional process, thinking that he wants to be happy by some other means, like for example, if you see somebody takes up the process of devotional service, and he's thinking, oh, I just along with devotional service, I want to enjoy also, and I want to have some time for myself, and I want to go to places, I want to enjoy, I want to party, all those things are there. Then they can be there, but they should not distract us from the main path. We should have the clear understanding that the goal of my life is to be devoted to Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. I always doing everything in the service of Krishna. But by chance, if we are distracted, means if we think anything else is more important than Krishna consciousness, means our Krishna consciousness is not 100%. So such devotees, when they give up the body and at that moment of time, then why they got distracted? They thought that something other than will give more enjoyment to me. So that kind of people will be promoted to the heavenly planet because they have already started process of Krishna consciousness, but due to their distraction, due to their propensity to enjoy, they are not able to complete their the sadhana or complete their seva. So then they will be promoted to the heavenly kingdom and they will be given all the facilities to enjoy. and the same time they will be given the jnana also. And with that knowledge, they will come to know this, there is no enjoyment in sensual pleasure. Then again, they will be brought back and given birth in the one pious family. And that's how they continue from where they are left in the previous life. So that is the way that means there is nothing like eternal hell or eternal heaven as other religions practice. Because the simple logic, right? We are not the owners of anything. We came with nothing in this world, and while living, we go with nothing. If nothing is owned by you, if nothing is created by us, then how can we claim that something has to be provided for me for eternally enjoying? It is, everything is God's property. Everything is Krishna's property. He is giving, he is sanctioning us based on our karma, based on our desires, based on our activities. So, and now this nature, this goal, this real knowledge of who we are, what is our dharma, that has to be known. And in order to, if like Krishna has provided this, given the knowledge in the beginning of creation itself, right? He has given to sun god and sun god to the different sages. This knowledge is coming, but due to some circumstances, due to some situations, if they are not able to perfect their life, if you are like the dharma is getting lost, this knowledge is getting lost, means knowledge of Krishna consciousness, knowledge of how to act in as a service to Krishna, how to dovetail all the activities in service of Krishna, that knowledge is there. And if it is covered up over by the illusory or misguiding dharmas, they are called Khaitava dharmas, means cheating religions. What are cheating religions? If you do something, you'll go to heaven, or if you do this, you'll get liberation. There are some gurus who say, you give me like so and so money, I'll give you mantra, you just chant that mantra and you'll become God. So that is Kaitava dharma, that is cheating religion. So if there is predominant rise in the religiosity, that is religion, then Krishna will appear to re-establish the religion. So this avatara, when does he appear? Whenever the principles of surrender are disturbed by demoniac. So these personalities are demoniac in nature. What is demoniac and demon? So in the Sanskrit, demoniac are called asura. Demons are called sura. So Ra, the word Ra means Raman, Ram, right? Raman means pleasure. Ra means sense of enjoyment. Sura means somebody who enjoys in an authorized manner. Asura means somebody who tries to enjoy in a adharmic way. Like means Sura means somebody who tries to enjoy only what is granted for them. Asura means somebody who tries to enjoy something which is not granted for them, or somebody who tries to for example, if something belongs to someone, and but you want to enjoy that thing, that property, or anybody, then that is asuric in nature. So Krishna, when out of kindness, he also facilitated there is some enjoyment so that we can carry on our material life. He kept in our life. But if we are not satisfied, if you don't know, because as we discussed, the senses can never be satisfied. If you are not careful enough in controlling the senses, then you will take to the asuric tendency. So due to this asuric tendency, then the living entity puts himself in the position of God, because Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer. So asuras keep themselves, they reject Krishna. That's why somebody who don't accept Krishna is called asuras, because they don't want anybody above them. Their ego is so great that they think that unless we are the ultimate enjoyers, we don't have the satisfaction. That's why if you see a lot of demonic people like Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, all those things, they say, no, I'm the God, nobody is greater than me, I'm the controller, like that they say. So when the religion is increasing and these demonic forces are appearing more and more, Lord Krishna appears. Why he appears? Where he appears is not only in India, he appears everywhere. But fortunately, Indians, the persons who took birth in the Bharatavarsha, the great sages, they have the capacity, they know the knowledge to identify the Lord. They know the qualities and the potencies of the Lord. So, like for example, when like all kids are there, and some grown-ups are there, and if president of the country comes, kids will think, oh, some elderly, somebody came and went. But if the same president go to the grown-up people, they will recognize, oh, he is president, he has so much authority, how he is different from them, what is his position and what is our position, they know. He can do many more things what we cannot do. So that knowledge makes difference. Even if Krishna comes in other parts of the world, they don't have that spiritual vision to see Krishna. So that's why Prabhupada says Krishna has unlimited incarnations. The number of bubbles on the Atlantic Ocean, he has more incarnations than that. But scriptures, like it says that there are scheduled incarnations, there are unscheduled incarnations. Scheduled incarnation means, for example, a prison house is there. Prison house is owned by the government, and the king or the prime minister, president is the head of the government. And as per the schedule, president will visit the prison house once in a year. Like now, for example, in India, it is said that on Republic Day, he actually releases one prisoners who are of good conduct, or like that thing is there, right? So the king also, he when there is some good any celebration like now, whenever there is some festivals happen, due to the festivity, king will come interfere in prison's rules, and he will release some prisoners of good conduct. So that is scheduled incarnation, scheduled visit for the king. But king is, it's up to king. He can visit any number of times, because it's the prison itself is functioning under him. So it can be taken like prison or school or hospital. The main authority, the main powerful person can visit any number of times. But as per the schedule, he has some visits, right? So in the same way, Krishna has the scheduled incarnations. Those are called avatars that are mentioned in the scriptures. That's why, like the famous avatars are Dashavataras, that everybody knows, most of us knows. But there are many number of incarnations. Srimad Bhagavatam mentions more avatars. And purpose is to, like to speak about religion according to the revealed level of audience. Mission is the same as to lead the people to God consciousness and to arouse Krishna consciousness everywhere. That is the mission. And who all descend? Not only Krishna. Sometimes sometimes Krishna may come personally, or sometimes he may send representatives. Just like king may sometimes come, or king may send his ministers or anybody as his representative. And are the principles taught same or different? It can be different. It may seem different, but the principle is the same. The details might be different, but the principle is the same. Like, try to reconnect back to Krishna through the process of devotional service. And what we are saying, what is dharma? We all know, right? Dharma means something, the religious principles which are laid down in the Vedas. These Vedas are given by Krishna himself. Means dharman tu sakshat bhagavat pranita, means dharma is something which is said by the God, by Krishna himself. So that's why Krishna said Krishna is Suhrudam Sarvabhutam. He is the well-wisher of every living entity. So for the benefit of everybody, Krishna gives certain guidance how to act in this material, so that we get purified and then go back to our real home, which is spiritual world, which is Golok, Vrindavan, Vaikuntha. Any of there are innumerable explanations. Like it is said that in the entire creation, 3/4 is spiritual world and only 1/4 is material world. So, and we are not destined to repeatedly again and going back in taking birth, death, old age, disease, bad karma, good karma, punishment, enjoyment. All those things are not required. These are all meant for our purification. And ultimately, the goal is to go back to God. It is better to know this fact more earlier than later. So, because then our actions, we will choose our preferences, how to act, how not to act, and how to engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness. We can do everything what we are doing, but in different spirit, which will free us from the entanglement and which will take us back to Godhead. So that is dharma, means acting according to the guidelines of Krishna. That is dharma. So now coming to today's session. So Krishna mentions three aspects, right? Paritranaya sadhanam, why he descends, Paritranaya sadhanam, vinashaya chadishkrutam, dharma samsthapanardaya sambhavami yuga yuga. Means Paritranaya sadhana means protecting the pious, and vinashaya chadishkrutam, and annihilating the miscreants, means like punishing the miscreants, and dharma samstapana, and re-establishing the dharma principles. These are the three reasons Krishna appears personally. So first preference is to protect his devotees. Krishna's name is Bhakta Vatsala. So all these incarnations, as I said, any incarnations, like who is God? God is Krishna himself. Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, as I told you previously, right? Like a king may, an actor, based on his roles, he may put on different costumes. No, if you see here, sometimes he came as Matsya Avatar, sometimes he came as Kurma Avatar, sometimes he came as Varaha Avatar, sometimes he came as Narsingh Avatar. These are all different costumes of Krishna. But who is original Krishna? Who is original Bhagavan is Krishna. Means who is original, like an actor may take different costume based on the time, based on the act he is playing, the role he is playing. But his original nature, his original personality is like there is an original personality for him, right? He is certain person. He has certain relatives. He has certain mood. That person is Krishna. Even Lord Ram's incarnation is also is not original. Krishna is the original. Now that's why if you see incarnation of Lord Ram, when he came as Manava, means he came as Manushya Avatar. Means he acted like a human being, Lord Ram, like until Vishwamitra came and gave him the divine astras. He doesn't know how to use the divine astras. And also if you see when Ravana kidnapped Sita, he was crying everywhere, no, where is Sita, where is Sita? He's asking everybody, he's asking trees, he's asking animals. So means he actually he performed the leelas. Like what is leela? Leela means like for example, I know, like if when a kids is there, when a kids are there, a father or mother becomes a kid to play with them. Then only the kid can enjoy the association of the parent, right? So in the same way, when Krishna comes into this material world, he comes to the level of the conditioned souls, so that these conditioned souls or the jivas or the devotees can correlate with him more nicely. Oh, Krishna came and he played this role. Now Krishna has that leela, like Mother Yashoda binds Krishna, and gopis they chastise Krishna. All those things, if he actually maintain that level, will not it may not be so much appealing. There are some religions, they say, oh, you have to fear God, you have to fear God. But the dharmic religion, this Vedic religion says, you don't have to fear God, you have to love God. That is the main thing. When there is love, there is no fear. When there is fear, there is no love. So fear is the primary, means very basic thing. Like when the child is very too mischievous, parent has to take up to the dandopaya, means parent has to control the child by fear, by chastisement. So, but that is not the ultimate. But there is a loving relationship can be there between the parent and the child. The same way, Krishna can control his devotees through love. So, Paritrana, he controls by coming and giving his time, giving his performing, staying with them, having nice loving reciprocations with them. That is the nature of Krishna's reciprocation. That is Krishna's protection to his devotees. Paritranaya sadhunam. Sadhu means somebody who is a devoted to Krishna. And some people are there which will not be controlled by this love. They are asuric in nature. They reject Krishna. So for them, he actually vinasha, he will annihilate them. He will punish them. So they can be controlled only. It is also his karuna. It is also his mercy on them. Like, for example, when a child is doing so much of misuse, sometimes parent has to act little harsh for the benefit of the child, right? Like especially the Indians, it is more applicable. So they will take a stick. So that is the second level of mercy. And finally, ultimate is dharma samstapan, means when they are deviating from the principle from the path of dharma, then he will, to set back to the original dharma, he will come back. So these are 3 reasons why Krishna appears. And but the prime purpose for his incarnation is to have a loving relationship with his unallied devotees. So with respect to vinashaya chadushram, means punishing the miscreants, and dharma samstapan, he could have sent anybody, any of his representative. But why Krishna personally comes in his own self-manifested self form is he wants to for the sake of unallied devotees, for the sake of his devotees, to have loving relationship dealings with his devotees, to reciprocate with them, Krishna comes. So, and we also discussed why Krishna comes personally is the acts that he performed cannot be performed by any other incarnation. If you see any other incarnation, he will only comes, do the needful, and then go back. Like for example, when it comes to Narsingadev, he appeared from the pillar, killed Hiranyakashipu, and he didn't stay long. Now he manifested in his Vigraha form, but that's it. Means job done. Means only very limited. But when he came as Krishna Rama Avatar, he has Bali Lila, and then Yavana Lila, and then he he gets married. He sets the role, how to perform different dharmas. By looking at his various activities of Krishna, many of the people will gets education. Means, like, for example, while teaching a kid, when a teacher gives, when a parent gives to kid that chalk and the board, and then says, write ABCDs. Kid cannot, in the initial days, kid cannot write. So what a parent has to do, catch hold of the kid's hand and then write along with the kid, so that kid will know how to write. So in the same way, even though there is no need for Krishnas to take birth in this material world, Krishna comes and takes birth and shows by example how to act. So that seeing his example, others can learn, because Krishna is the father of every living entity. I'm not getting the Sanskrit words. And vinasha chadushkata means the punishing the miscreants can be done by any way. And then establishing dharma. And what is sadhu and what is Krishna, we already discussed. Somebody who accepts Krishna's instructions, he becomes a sadhu, and somebody who doesn't accept is a Dushkruti. And there Krishna also incarnated in the form of in the Kali Yuga, and the recent most recent incarnation is Krishna's incarnation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what is the dharma of the religion? Anybody remember? What is the religious practice of this age? So there are 4 ages, right? Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So in the Satya Yuga,
chant the holy name of Krishna, Prabhu.
Huh?
Chant the holy name.
Yeah, chanting the holy name is the Yuga Dharma. So that is the bona fide process of self-realization in this age. So in order to re-establish that, chanting the holy name of Krishna, in order to re-establish, Krishna came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and re-established Dharma. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established the process of this Sankirtan movement, means chanting the holy name of Krishna. That's why if you see wherever any bona fide sampradaya is there, they give highest preference to chanting the names of God. You can chant any name, Rama, Krishna, Govinda, like Christians chant the Hail Jesus something, and Muslims also chant some name, right? So different religions have different names, but chanting the holy name of Krishna is the bona fide process of this age. So in order to establish that, Krishna came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this mantra that we chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That is called Maha Mantra. This is the most potent form of mantra. The conditioning in the Kali Yuga is so powerful that like when ordinary medication doesn't work, then doctor will prescribe the highest superlative dosage, right? Like this is the most powerful medicine. So in the same way, Mahaprabhu came and gave this Maha Mantra. So that can counteract any number of ill effects of Kali Yuga and can raise the consciousness of the living entity, to perform, to get connected to Krishna. So, and then when Krishna performed different activities, what is the purpose of different activities? Okay, if he is a well-wisher of every living entity, he would have come and gave the message and just left, just like gave a book and he said, if you follow this book, and then he left. But he didn't do that. He personally came, enacted different pastimes, and then showed by example. And what is the purpose behind them is, Krishna says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvata tyaktva jeham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjana. Means somebody who knows the transcendental nature of my birth and activities, tyaktva jeham, just by knowing them, tyaktva jeham, after living this body, punarjanma naiti mameti sorjana. Means like they will not take birth again. Means like the janma in this material world is the root cause of all the sufferings. So if you go back to Godhead, then you will not take birth again in this material world. So in order to, the easiest process is that just know the activities, know the janma and karma, know Krishna's divinity of janma, means what is the significance of Krishna's birth and activities. If you know them properly, then we will be freed from the cycle of birth and death. Means when doctor says, okay, when you just you got a disease now, so you just, if you know that what is the medicine that you have to take, then you will decidedly cured. Can anybody see any logic in that? So okay, if a person got some, say, any disease, like what is any disease, can you say? Okay, cancer is there. Okay, cancer is there. Okay, if you get a cancer, you just know there is some radiotherapy, right? Chemotherapy, yeah. So if you know the process of chemotherapy, then your disease will be cured. You don't have to take chemotherapy. You just know the process of chemotherapy. Your disease will be cured.
How come?
It doesn't seem very logical, right? But with respect to Krishna's activities, they are spiritual in nature. They are, even just by knowing the activities of Krishna, means when you truly realize the activities of Krishna, then you will know the greatness of Krishna. You know how Krishna loves us, and you know the message of Krishna, and you know real intention of Krishna. When you actually know that message of Krishna through a bona fide spiritual master, bona fide acharya, then you'll know its true purpose. And when you know that, when you know you are suffering and you know there is medicine, what will you do? You'll take the medicine. So when you are suffering in this material world and somebody came and gave the medicine, you'll immediately take the medicine. So in the same way, when we are suffering, we have to go through birth and death, old age, disease, and suffering. Either you are in any body you are suffering, either you go to heavenly planets, you are suffering, you go to so either rich, poor, everybody is suffering in this material world. There is no one who is suffering. Due to some pious attitude, you may be well situated in your position right now, but still you're going to suffer. So Prabhupada says in one lifetime, somebody is the prime minister of one country. In the next time, the same person will become a dog in some other country. So that is real suffering. Means if you don't properly use this human formula, it is you are going to miss something. So just by knowing the one who knows the transcendental nature of birth and activities of Krishna, then he will takes up the process of devotional service seriously. And then that kind of person, even if he stays little step ahead in the right path, Swalpam Apesa Dharmasya Trahatam Ayato Bhayat, means even a little endeavor in this path will save us from greater dangers. Means it will save us from greater dangers of again falling down into this material existence. So when we know them, then we'll act on them. So that's why Krishna performed all those leelas, and then that's why we can by knowing all those pastimes, by knowing all the activities of Krishna, we will understand the mood of Krishna. We know how to perform the devotional service, and that way we can easily overcome this illusory mentality that we are the enjoyers and we are independent, we are the controllers. We say Krishna is the controller, we are the part and parcel of Krishna, and then we lead life in devotion to Krishna. And so Prabhupada says, he who accepts this truth on the strength of the authority of the Vedas of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who does not waste time in the philosophical speculation, attains the highest perfection stage of liberation. Simply by accepting this truth on the faith, one can, without a doubt, can attain liberation. So one may say, okay, you go to some illiterate person and tell to them, no, oh, Krishna is God, and he came and he performed this lila, and he took birth, and he killed Putana, he was a child with Mother Yashoda, he became a Makanchor, and he was all those things. Stories, you tell all the stories to some uneducated person, and that person takes it so seriously, and constantly meditates on that. And the same person goes to the highly educated PhD holder and says to that person, and that, oh, these are all mythological stories. No, what is the use of all those things? Like when so if one accepts without a doubt, we discussed that Narada Muni and the cobbler pastime. You remember? You remember, right? You all remember. So means that the process of your devotional service is so potent that it doesn't require any pre-qualification. Your birth, your consciousness, your level, your education, mundane education. So these are all not the qualification. To accept it, and if you have any question, you ask, you get it clarified. When there is sincerity in our heart, Krishna will send a right person into our life. So when we put forth our doubts to a right guru, then he will clear it. So simply by accepting this truth on faith, one can, without doubt, can attain liberation. So, and it also says that it's not only Tektvaja, means after giving up this body, even while in this body, there are some personalities who are already liberated. They are called Jivan Muktas. Means, like just by acting on the principles of Dharma, they actually attain that level of perfection. But if you want to achieve such kind of liberation through the other process, through the Ashtanga Yoga, through Jnana Yoga, through Karma Yoga, it's very difficult. Only the easiest process is Bhakti Yoga process. We see Ashtanga yogis now, we know that they perform very severe austerities, they don't eat nicely, they go and meditate in the caves for thousands and thousands of years, but still they will be not be able to attain perfection. So what is the results of understanding Lord's appearance and pastimes? Okay, so paths for living the entity seeking liberation. Okay, and a living entity seeks liberation. It has two paths: impersonalist yoga process or path of devotional service. It has two paths. So this impersonal path is jnana, karma, and yoga process. And the other process is bhakti process. And if we take the impersonal path, like Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, that kind of path, when they say that Jagat is Mithya, Jagat is illusory. That's why they don't eat properly, they don't dress properly, they don't know, they don't do anything like they are called impersonalists. So it is not easy to maintain because of material conditionings. It is not easy, and not only only partial success and ultimate only the highest position that they can reach is Brahma Jyoti, the impersonal aspect, like we discussed, right? Krishna has three aspects: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So the most at most they can go is Brahma Jyoti aspect. Brahma means merge into the impersonal Brahman. So, but if somebody takes the process of devotional service, anybody finding any difficulty in chanting holy name of Krishna, anybody finding any difficulty in coming to temple and taking darshan, is there any difficulty in handling prasadam, is there any difficulty in associating with devotees and listening from them, is there any difficulty in hearing Krishna Katha? These are all very simple processes. Even a child can do without any difficulty, and the child even can attain the perfection higher than that of the great sages, that great rishis who followed the Ashtanga Yoga process. These Ashtanga yogis can attain some mystical siddhis, but they are going to go nowhere. But on the other hand, a person in devotional service, he may seem simple, but the destination is going to achieve is greater, much greater than the other personalities. So, and somebody who is faithful devotee accepts the Krishna's protection with faith. One who accepts Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead has many forms and his relation with the unalloyed devotees. He does not waste time in philosophical speculation. Somebody who is taking other paths, they'll just waste their time, reading that book, this book, following that yoga, Ashtanga yoga, Hatha yoga, this asana, that asana. These are all only waste of time. So, but somebody who just take the process of devotional service, they accept Krishna, they take the protection of Krishna, they take shelter of Krishna, they attain the perfection. Okay, just like even not only the humans, even the animals, like if it's you hear the Gajendra, he in his previous life we will see, when time permits, we'll discuss about Srimad Bhagavatam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that Gajendra was a king Indradumna in his previous life. Due to a curse, he became elephant, but because he performed some bhakti in his previous life, he was able to remember Krishna in his life. And he was not able to, when enters into a pond, one crocodile catches its leg, and this elephant tries for many years to get out of this clutches of this crocodile, and it realizes that I cannot, by my own strength, I cannot pull off from get freed from this crocodile, and he remembers Krishna and offers prayers to Krishna, that elephant, and Krishna comes and gives protection. So Krishna says, Vitaraga Bhayakrota Manmaya Mam Upashata Bahavo Jnana Tapasa Puta Madbhavam Agata, means Vitaraga Bhayakrota means giving up. Vita means giving up. Raga means attachment. Bhaya, fear, and Krodha, anger. Man Maya Mam Upashita, the great souls in past have taken my shelter. And Bahavo Jnana Tapasa, through this knowledge, through this transcendental knowledge and their austerity, they have Puta Madbhava Agat, means they have attained the purity, perfection. So, attaining the transcendental love for Krishna, how we can attain? So, problem with the materialist, solution: take complete shelter of Krishna under the guidance of one of its spiritual master, and follow the disciplines and regulative principles of devotional life, and perform 9 processes of devotional service. Straight path. No, in one go, all problems are solved. That's it. Like you do whatever you are doing, and take the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. Follow his instructions, regulative principles, and perform any of all of or any of the Naveda Bhakti, and it will lead to the perfection of life. And if you cannot understand the personal nature of Lord, But somebody who doesn't accept this path, then they cannot understand the personal aspect of the Lord. Then they'll be accustomed to raga, bhaya, and krodha. Raga for material attachments means they'll be attached to the country, they'll be attached to the family, they'll be attached to the wealth, they'll be attached to the name, fame, all those things, and then leads to the negligence of spiritual life. They'll think, oh, spiritual life is for some old people or somebody who doesn't have anything to do, and then they neglect the spiritual life. And bhaya, somebody who is of fear. Like somebody who is fearful of the personal aspect of Krishna. Like who is fearful of personal aspect of Krishna? Only the demons are fearful of personal aspect of Krishna. Only the demonic forces are fearful of personal aspect of Krishna. Krishna's personality is all loving, but only demons fear of him. But that kind of person, even if they want to achieve perfection, if they attempt sincerely, they can only go up to the level of impersonal Brahman. So it is said that impersonal Brahman, impersonalists compare the living entity to the bubbles in the ocean while merging in the ocean. Means like it says like Brahman is everything and Atma is also aspect of Brahman. So Brahman, the Atma goes into merge into Brahman. They call it moksha. So that is the impersonal. Means only the non-devotees or envious people or demonic people, they go and merge into the impersonal Brahman. Krodha means somebody who is conception of void resulting from the frustration of life. Becoming angry at all sorts of spiritual speculations out of hopelessness. If you see some people, they are envious. They don't like devotees. They don't like somebody who is following religious principles. They criticize them. So they take shelter in intoxication. Like we see many celebrated personalities are there. They criticize somebody who is following dharmic religions. Oh, these are all wasting time. These are all, and like actually in one Shiva temple in Mumbai, they do abhishekam with milk and all those things. And there is some sect of people, they rose a great complaints against that. Why are you wasting this precious milk that can be given to poor and all those things? And after arguing all those things, these persons will go and drink in the bar and waste so much money. Like 1 liter of milk is maybe right now 30 or 40 rupees, or maybe 100 rupees at most. And this person going and spending so much money on liquor, all those things, and wasting so much money in their grand parties, they are speaking that the devotees are wasting milk by pouring on the form of God. So these are all atheistic, these are envious people. So somebody who is not, then they take intoxication and accept hallucination as their spiritual vision. Somebody who takes even those kind of people also have some kind of spiritual angle. They say, oh, we know everything. This is all material. These are all devotion is not required. These are all for new people with for these spiritual aspects are for beginners. They comment like that. So that kind of people, they cannot go anywhere. They end up in here only due to their hallucinations. So that is the process. Means in order to attain but for a devotee who takes this process of devotional service, he goes step by step. First he stays with Shraddha, Adho Shraddha. Then he will take the association of devotees. First of all, he develops interest and associate with devotees, sadhu sangha. And then he start bhajana kriya. He start performing the devotional service, the chanting and also service. They're all bhajana kriya. And anartha nivrutti means as he continues in this process of devotional service, all the contamination in the heart will go away one by one. And then steadiness will develop. Nishtha will develop. And then after developing Nishtha, he will develop a taste in executing this process of devotional service. Taste in chanting, taste in hearing, taste in performing Navavida Bhakti. And then with this taste, he develops attachment, asakti. and this will lead to love, bhava. Means like he will reach to the stage of love. And then finally comes prema, to pure love for Krishna. Pure love means irrespective of any circumstances, there nobody can, like somebody who reached up to the level of bhava can get distracted. But somebody who reached the level of prema, nobody can separate them from Krishna. So that is unless there are like no, we'll discuss that as we proceed further. So that is the process of advancement of a person in the devotional service of devotional life. Okay, and somebody who is otherwise materially attachment, that is raga. Bhaya means spiritual identity. So all those things are discussed. Uh, that is the end of the session today. I hope you're able to follow. Anybody have any questions? Hare Krishna. You have any questions?
Say you go close to God. Is that the moksha then?
Moksha, I said, right? There are different levels of moksha. Means Sahaja moksha means, what is the definition of moksha as per your knowledge?
After you become sadhu, sadhana, samadhi, and then
Dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So on the level of samadhi means like they are different. For a impersonalist, there is different type of samadhi. For a devotee, there is different type of samadhi. Samadhi means complete absorption in Krishna. Here I showed you, right? When it comes to bhava stage, that is called samadhi for Krishna, for devotees. And prema is higher than samadhi. Samadhi means like when you see, like when we see some Ashtanga yogis, they'll go deep into meditation. They will be fully unconscious to the externals.
yeah, they
That
live
is-
there, they say, right? Like basically they die.
No, they don't die. The person who died, who goes into samadhi means somebody who doesn't have any external consciousness. He is completely in unison with the Paramatma. Or
But they leave the body, right?
they are different as there are different ways. Sometimes some impersonalists, they go jiva samadhi, means they are still living in the body, but still their absorption is so great, they are completely detached from the externals. Samadhi means total meditation, total absorption. So when a person, like in the meditation, in the process of meditation, if somebody attains samadhi, means he is like he attained the perfection in that process. So, but for a devotee, there are like 5 ways of liberation. Sajya Mukti, Samipya, Sarishti, are different ways of liberation are there. So, Sajya Mukti is the Mukti, means the merging into the impersonal Brahman. No, there is Brahman everywhere, and this impersonal goes and merges into their soul goes and merges into the impersonal Brahman. That they call as Samadhi or Moksha, not Samadhi, Moksha. So
They don't take a rebirth.
they will take rebirth if they develop desires. Like for that stage to come, he has to be totally, he has to detach everything of material. Means he has detached family, he has developed a detached body, he should not engage any kind of sense gratification. Then he will reach to the level of liberation, like moksha, impersonal moksha. But even in the impersonal moksha also, you will have your own identity because you are a spirit soul. Krishna says, spirit soul will never die. Even in the impersonal liberation, even after merging into, even after attaining moksha, spirit soul is still there in the impersonal Brahman. But if the spirit soul desires, oh, I want more rasa, I want more personal rasa, then he will again come into the material existence. Okay. Anybody have any more questions? Okay, we'll end here. Gandhra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.